Welcome, everybody, to our monthly impact series. This one is From Vision to Adoption: How Cross-Functional Teams Bring Chat AI to Life. As always, I am one of your co-hosts, Jackie Kenny. I lead product marketing here at Observe, and hosting alongside me today is the wonderful Sneha. Sneha, you want to quickly introduce yourself?
Yeah, hey everybody, I'm Sneha. I lead the business value and analytics department here at Observe. I mention this every time. I'm always very excited when we have guest experts on our, impact series. This one I am particularly very excited about because we have Valerie here and she's coming in with an extremely fresh perspective on blending, marketing, demand generation, and customer service, customer experience. Almost think about it like your marketing channels are your customer service channels. So she's here to challenge the view of contact centers working differently on different OKRs, and marketing and demand gen teams working differently. And yeah, very very excited to have her share some valuable insights today. Over to you, Valerie.
Well, thanks for having me. To everybody out there, I'm Valerie Stover. I am the Senior Manager of Digital Marketing at Affordable Care. We are the DSO behind Affordable Dentures and Implants. I've spent over 25 years in marketing, with the last several years focused on building digital programs that drive patient growth across more than 400 dental practices nationwide. At Affordable, my team oversees everything from social media and local SEO to paid digital, paid social, and emerging AI tools, all with one goal to help our practices connect more with patients. So I am thrilled to be here and talk about all our fun activities we have going on with Observe and with our AI journey.
Lovely. We are so excited to have you. I think the marketing perspective is going to be a really fun one. So, let me just go through general housekeeping for everybody on the call here today. The session will be recorded, it will be sent out after. And on the right-hand side of your screen, you'll see a section where you can submit your Q&A at any point in time. We have a team monitoring that, so they'll try to answer everything real time. And then anything that we think is relevant for the conversation, we'll just throw it in as an additional FAQ for Valerie to answer live. So with that, let's dive right into it. Valerie, as a senior manager of digital marketing, volume and conversion, those are like your lifelines, right? And so, what was the specific marketing pain point or trigger, rather, that led you to investigate AI as a solution?
Um, well, so we're starting from like the demand gen side, right? We were looking for ways to shorten that speed to lead, to get our patients that are our prospective patients that are seeking our assistance and help, getting them connected with care faster, and to do that, like that human variable, right, in the process of time. When we talk about lead, that could be for me, it was a social media lead when we're advertising, and people raise their hand for interest on Facebook and they submit a form. And how do they get the information? It used to take a couple of days, maybe a week, and then somebody didn't realize that they had filled out the form, or they've lost interest, or maybe they found a competitor during that time frame. So we're trying to reduce the friction between interest and conversion. And that's how we became down the path of looking for a potential AI tool. Thank goodness this was right about the time AI was being introduced to the market at scale. So we were looking at a lot of different things to help us capture, help, lead score, segment, and eventually get people where they needed to go, whether that was immediately to a customer service agent potentially, or to a lead workflow.
Yeah, perfect. And you kind of alluded to it, but I want to kind of dig in quickly around before AI, like how did that manual fulfillment look? Like what was the impact to your team? Um,
Oh, the impact, it was kind of twofold, right? There's there was the unintended impact, which was that we discovered through the use of AI how much customer service was coming through our demand gen channels, right? We just probably just thought just because that we were driving demand in these channels, that was the only communication that was happening, and that was not the case. So we've discovered this customer service opportunity there, but then also that length of time, right? So we would have to download leads, we have to get them set up in whatever our system is, get them delivered to our teams via email. Hopefully somebody checks their email, and if they're not too busy, they try to make a phone call out to that prospect and connect with them. And there's a lot of things broken in that scenario. One is we're not meeting the patient where they are, right? If they're on Facebook or they're digitally on their phone, we are not meeting them there. We're waiting 3 days and calling them back on whatever phone they gave to us on. And then that time frame that we have put in between us, right? They are expecting nowadays instant answers, I believe, instant help. So we've created we've added friction into the whole scenario of connecting people with care that leads into that's how people get to competitors, or they might live in a little state of confusion a little bit longer. So there's a lot of manual steps, right? A lot of emails back and forth, a lot of my team, like, hey guys, we followed up on this leads, a lot of spreadsheets, a lot of people checking boxes. And it's just, if it was one practice and maybe like 25 leads a month, that wouldn't be such a big deal. But when you're talking scale, 400 practices, tens of thousands of leads a month, it becomes an unimaginable task,
It's such,
unsurmountable.
yeah, and I think it's such a refreshing perspective because you think about it from a consumer side, right? If I'm on Instagram, Facebook, wherever it is, like yeah, I just think I'm engaging with the brand. Like whoever is behind that, they know exactly how to help me. That's just my expectation. But now with all of our years on the other side, right? Like we all know that that's not the reality, but it's this omni-channel approach just becomes so 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 real, but in reality social's owned by marketing, not customer service.
Absolutely. It's a really cool, well, I mean, I think it's a cool opportunity, but it's also for if you don't quite have all the things lined up, it's kind of confusing for the patient, or think about yourself as a consumer. These days, social media is the same as picking up the phone and calling. It is and of all the keyboard warriors out there, I am guilty as everybody else. Oh, I will complain more on my computer or my review than I would ever to your face. And it would be potentially all the truth, but I would feel bad if I was talking to you in person. Like I would, scale that back. So the social media tools today have become customer service 1-800, call me, tell me, get me help. And that's how consumers use it these days, right? They do it to engage, they use it to engage, they want to build a connection, but they're also using that connection for customer service. And what I've spent a lot of time initially while we were getting these programs up and running, and we were managing the community management, right? The inboxes and the comments. And I feel for everyone who's trying to get help that's messaging the inbox, but how many times did I have to explain, I'm very sorry, I'm just the marketing person here. I just manage this. I really can't help you with your teeth. Can you please give me your contact number? Let me try to figure out which one of these 400 practices that you are seen at, and then try to reach out to that practice to try to get you guys connected, or reach out to a customer service team member. So I think those are kind of the instances where I know everything's all nice and shiny. You get a lead, make them happy, you convert them very quickly, get them in for service. But to me, it's that current patient that may have an issue, or that may need some additional help, and trying to get them the fastest path to the correct person. I mean, when you're in a state of needing assistance, it's even more you need to do it faster, right? Just every piece of friction just makes it more anxious, gives you more of a bad feeling about your organization or makes you feel more confused. So it just escalates the customer service need there. And we are trying to get everyone to their right path the fastest.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. And on that thread, when you think about trying to get everybody to the right path the fastest, I know when you brought AI into your workflow, you started with a small proof of concept. And if I'm not mistaken, it was Facebook Messenger.
Mhm.
But walk us through like how you got to that and how you used it to basically create the value of AI and justify and scaling it further.
So we did introduce a AI through Facebook Messenger, and it was a decision tree. It was at the beginning of the AI evolution, if you will. And so we had the very basic decision tree, moving people from one question to the other. The goal here was to potentially add in, I say remove friction a lot of times, but when you're trying to generate demand, you also want to do what you can to get quality leads, to get folks that are the right people for your product or your services. So we were adding in some layers of a friction as you do in a funnel, trying to qualify, right? And so through this decision tree, we're able to do some lead scoring, and we're able to by introducing those steps or those questions, by the time somebody would complete the experience at the end, they just have a level of they were already committed, invested, spent a good amount of time with us. So they were a little bit better quality. And that was the intention of that AI experience, right, at the beginning. And on the customer service side, I had a really great I still do a really great partnership with our call center team who were exploring, and they were very willing to explore with me some outbound calling or some outbound communication initiatives. And one of the things that we needed to provide them was some quality indicator, so a lead score or something to throttle back that volume because they were still using humans, just a one-to-one outbound calling or texting. And I had to get it from the 8,000 general leads to give me a smaller number of higher quality leads. So through that decision tree, we were able to do some lead scoring, some high value, some low value, and put them on different paths. So for instance, if they got whatever the lead score calculation was, if they were at the high level, they got moved up to the outbound call queue with priority
Mm.
for the call center team. So their agents, when they had a moment, they were able to go to that pile of leads and start to help those patients more quickly because it indicated they wanted assistance quicker or they requested callbacks, whatever our scoring opportunities were. So it helped that partnership between our two teams. It helped us qualify some leads, helped us get more information about our potential customers or people who were potential patients, those that were looking to get assistance, and then also allowed us to partner with our call center teams to do that high value right that actual outbound when you're talking to someone, help them to work that into they're all busy, right? They sometimes can't even answer the phone, so we help them help us.
Yeah, which is so wonderful. And I think when you think about how quickly that use case spun up into, wow, this is a great partnership, and like, wow, we're passing over a ton of leads. If you were to reflect back and kind of think about the impact to speed, would you have changed the way you prioritized it, right? Would you have put something else into the prioritization queue even earlier?
Think so. I think looking back, you see a lot of things you could have done, or the tools change so fast. Like it before we could even get the first one implemented, it had already AI had already gone through five different evolutions. So I think right now we're just behind we will constantly be like this. Not we and we as human beings in the business world. We're always going to be sort of behind the curve on the AI tools, and we just have to keep coming faster, right? And I think we're getting better at, as we're getting down the line, we can kind of see some things that are happening now and kind of predict a little bit of the future and try to get a little bit ahead. But I would say the actual technology is, when it's time to look back, you wish would have done it. It's almost always a technology answer, right? Oh, I wish I would have built this on a knowledge base instead of Valerie writing all the answers by hand and then having to go change it when a doctor changes.
All right. So I think there were a few key points that you mentioned, Valerie, which, I want to discuss more on. You briefly talked a little bit about the collaboration that you had with, your contact center operations team. So I do want to touch a little more on that piece too, right? So most organizations, they do keep marketing and they do keep contact center operations in silos. And your partnership with the contact center team, it seems like, it kind of broke that traditional model of, hey, marketing is going to be responsible for demand gen and contact center is going to be responsible for, that unparalleled Emirates level customer experience for retention. And what changed once AI agents came into the mix for you, right? And why do you feel like you almost needed AI to bring you together? I'm more curious to understand what was the state of things before this collaboration happened, right? Like what were you missing out on? And then now that you have the AI agents in the mix, how is that, improved efficiency for you?
So I think we were guilty of the same things that luckily we don't have the same relationship now, but we were in silos at the beginning of it as well, right? Our contact center, everybody worked on their own KPI and their own goal. And when you come to the table and you're generating demand, and the only thing that your team or your boss and the C-suite cares about you is you bringing in that lead volume. So that is, I'm like, okay, I made the lead. So what? And then the call center, the contact teams and ops are, okay, I'm trying to convert these leads. So we had that same relationship as most people probably are experienced, especially at larger organizations, such as us here with all the locations. I think one of the real keys as having a good partner as the leader of that contact center, and that's really where it changed for us. I was always pushing to, even our old leadership, I was always pushing to try to get more involved, to help with the follow-up. I'm just being in the marketing side for so long and working with like inside sales teams or internet sales teams that would handle incoming leads. I had a little bit more hands-on with what actually happened to the lead after I generated it. So I knew what had to happen, and I knew what had to happen in such of a time frame that that lead is only as hot as it is for a finite amount of time, and that is and this they always say speed to lead, but that is the speed to lead follow up is the key, especially in social media, which was my demand gen channel. It's one of the coldest channels out there. So we need to get to the people while they remember they touched our ads or they experienced our brand online. So I had some kind of unique perspectives there, and we had a change of leadership come in through the call center, and Manny was very open to expanding the opportunities to drive the business. So and then a lot of the leadership changed around our areas, and actually call center sat within the marketing team at that point. They moved call center under our CMO. So that helped foster that collaboration a little bit. We were a little bit more tied as a team together. But I would say overall, everything that we've done probably since that time and forward is working on that marketing ops relationship and making sure that yes, we might be responsible for the leads and you might be responsible for the sales. There's 15 things in the middle that we're both equally responsible for. So the only way to crack the code is to work together.
Yeah.
So that's kind of our evolution to get to the spot that we are, but really glad that we're in the spot that we are. Our teams are great, right? They really we want to do what's right for the patient, and we're all on the same mission to connect people with care, right? Like it's different than I'm not selling watches. I mean, it would be the same experience if I was ecom, but I'm not. Like every person we touch is not just another patient in the door. It's potentially the first appointment that might change their life.
Yeah. Yeah. No, very true. Very true. And I think, um, so you did mention about demand generation being one of the biggest OKRs for marketing, right? And then you also said that call center, I don't know if it's sitting now under the CMO, but at some point in time it was. Um, so I do get the idea of like, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Like, we're working with that shared source of truth. But did this now in any way change your existing OKRs? Like, were you still just responsible for like better quality lead gen, or were you in some way now also responsible for your brand consistency and brand perception with your existing customers? Like, was something new with the existing customers come into play with your OKR?
I handle the reputation management also for our company, so that has always been a real kind of sits all within my team as well. So that has always been an existing KPR for our team. I think that the quality of lead became more of a conversation now that we had the ops feed, we had the contact center helping us out and more of a context for quality as in they had limited time and resources, and it's probably why AI fits so great as a mediary between the two relationships, right? As because demand, I want to drive as much as possible. I want the gas to go, right? I want to fill up the tank, but there's only so much tank to fill up in a call center. So the more leads I drive, I can do it more efficiently. I get better costs. But on the other end, what are we going to do with them? And if I put too many leads in their basket, they're not going to get followed up with because their time is restricted, right? We got the human time and the availability of their agents, all kinds of things, right? So we've got this catch 22 where yes, give me all the leads, but don't give me too much. And just especially social media when I'm driving leads, they are so far up the decision journey a lot of times. Like they just take a lot longer to convert. So they might be trading off making an outbound call to a patient that's going to convert 3 months from now versus taking a phone call that's coming in of somebody trying to book an appointment today. We don't ever, so we're trying to manage that expectation, right? What's most important. And that's kind of where we were introduced to the observes AI with Manny, like that team had already went down a path to try to manage their workflow and their workloads to do more with less, to get people connected with the right resource. I believe they were using you guys with the voice intelligence to figure out how to help train our call center agents, right, to help make sure that they're asking the right questions to figure out what is making our patients book or not book, doing a lot of that AI analysis, and it transitioned to a voice AI agent that would even answer the phone and try to get some of those lower level questions answered, such as directions or hours of operation, the things that don't necessarily need to take up the human agent's time, and we can leave them more available for booking appointments. So that is they were already going down this path while I was still kind of silent, right? I'm going down my path with this initial agent and then a secondary. And I decided to bring our call center into the loop when I'm trying to decide what my next level is. I knew I needed to level up what tools we were using. And that is a good with our partnership, right? And they helped me they help me tap into the knowledge that they already have. I know we were probably already we've already got this on talked about this on the last session I was on, but it's the most cumbersome thing for the AI was that I was teaching it on my end. I was telling it what it knew. And the call center, they're the front facing for the patient. Um, so everything they knew had a process behind it. It was already updated practice information, services, like all the things. So we needed it to be on the same path. And I needed to get myself out of the middleman of having to update and train my AI tool every time something changed.
Yeah, yeah. And I think even in our previous conversation, you mentioned a lot about the brain of the AI needs to be
Yes,
the
the
same.
same. The same. Like it really is that simple. It go to the wherever the source of truth is, there needs to be one, and it is regulated and it is managed. And the best when you have a call center, good thing is there is some kind of training database of things that everybody knows so that you know when a person calls in that they're getting the right information as right as you know it right now, and they're getting that consistent experience. So for me, the AI needed to provide the same exact experience. So what better thing to do than to know what the call center knows? Because one, if it's trying to help the prospect along the way, then it's going to help it just like the call center agent would. And then if it needed to get transferred to a live agent, it's still going to get the same information, right? The agent's not going to have to say, "Oh, I'm so sorry. That was just our AI tool talking. We only update it 3 times a year. Here is the most up-to-date information." That's never the case now. And once it's all the same information.
Yeah. So if you were to give, so if I were a marketing leader and I wanted to go in and try collaborating with my ops team, with my CX teams, what would be your advice?
I the biggest thing I want to have happen is bring everybody in at the beginning. Uh, it's the easiest when you go at it together. It really is. It's going to give everybody a voice. Everybody has a different point of view. I have a point of view, and mine is strong, but it is about bringing lead from the outside world to the inside world, and then getting that contact center experience for that patient experience on what happens after that. That is essential. Having all three of those stakeholders bought in, you guys need to be a collective team. Like if there's no room to not, and I've been through it both ways, right? Outside coming in, now I've got to push and sell my ideas to you, and you weren't part of it, and you probably have 14 different thoughts that are very valid, but just weren't a consideration of mine. So that would be the easiest path is to build you a team that is going to tackle AI together. Uh,
Okay.
and and it has to be the person generating the leads. It's got to be somebody the people that are talking to the patient, at least those two people, or two people from those teams, because those are both sides of the same coin, right? I don't ever want to generate a lead for something that is not the experience we're going to be able to
Okay.
provide.
Yeah. So start with the patient and then work it out.
I always go backwards, right? Which whoever's going to get the most convenient experience is going to be first, and that's the patient. So figure out we need to be where they are. I mean, stop. We used to try to force them to call, force them to go online and do this. We need to meet people where they are and stop trying to push them off their device or push them onto the way it's easier for you. If we keep that in mind and put the patient right there at the beginning and then work backwards. If it requires us to jump through 15 hoops, that's fine. That's what our jobs are, right? I know I don't need to make the patient jump through 15 hoops to do business with us.
Yeah, no, totally makes sense. And I know I'm gonna give it back to Jackie for some more questions. But while you were talking, I was just drawing parallels to, the partnership Jackie and I have. So she's on the marketing, product marketing side. I'm on, the customer success side. And so we kind of did the exact same thing. We worked it backward, right? So when you have all these prospects coming in, you don't want to work with just you don't want to try and come up with projections that you have absolutely no justification for. You want to work backwards. You want to work with, hey, these are the customers in the space that have experienced similar metrics and successes, so let's take that back to sales and project those to the prospect. So having that, the same brain, like a shared source of truth, whatever is
Yes.
working out with the customers, like I got to make sure I pass that on to Jackie so she can position that properly for us. And yeah, a lot of parallels, but yeah, just wanted to throw.
No, I agree. And just being on that experience, not necessarily just with you guys, but just in general as a part, as a business, that would use a relationship with a partner like this, it's so valid, right? That a lot of times I've been in the past been handed off. I'm one on one with my sales folks. I'm there. I've signed everything, and then they transition me over to a team, and it's like night and day. I'm like, do you guys even work at the same place? Like it.
It is probably the hardest thing. Like we all know it, right? Deep down, but we also know I've got to do this today sort of situation. So it's so easy to put
Yes.
the blinders on. But the best part is like if I'm talking about a pre-sales ROI and someone's like, we got to pull stay high. And I'm like, I already know what stay high is going to say. I've got all the
Right.
things. Like, we don't even need to. This is all seamless. And like, it's just you're speaking to the brand and you want whoever's behind the brand. You don't need to be an expert at everything, but let me at least hold that cohesive conversation with you. And I
Yes.
know enough to be dangerous, if you will, right?
Yes.
Like, you don't need to figure out where to go. Let me figure that out for you.
Yes, yes. So we'll get you where you're going. Like you know enough to drive.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I know we talked a lot about, you building your relationship with the contact center, which I love. That was actually new, me hearing that the contact center sat under the CMO. So like that's
Yeah, it doesn't now, but we've had a lot of change. But for probably the first couple of years that I was working here, it did.
Yeah, which probably helped a ton. So we're just super excited to continue to pick your brain on how others can take what you learned and bring that into their strategies. But the other thing we talked about too is how you kind of went from nothing to AI. And I know you started with Facebook Messenger and then that went really well. And so it was, okay, let's put this in the deep end. And I think the next deep end was your website. So talk through the transition and like how you made that really critical step from nothing and maybe like a rules-based chatbot to, a really like chat AI agent, and how you helped train it.
No, that is we went in with Facebook Messenger because we were able to contain it in that one channel, right? It was I can make Facebook stop talking if I need to. Like I needed my I needed my button to turn it off if I wanted to. So that was nerve-wracking. First day I think it's going to try to go all, do all the crazy things we thought AI was going to do way back when it first came out, and it did not. It did not try to take over my life, and it did follow the decision tree that I had put into place, sometimes to the detriment of my customer experience, because every time Sally would say, or the chat bot would ask, "Can I please have your phone number?" And Sally would say, "I just want to talk to somebody." The chat would just, "I'm sorry, I don't understand. Can you please give me your phone number?" So we went from that. And we learned a lot, and we've got a lot of good feedback. And we're trying to figure out a place to where else are people trying to talk to us or could use a hand, and we're not capturing them. For me, I'm trying to capture leads, trying to capture contact, trying to help put people on a journey to make better decisions on their care. And that was the website. We looked at how many visitors we were having to our website, and we started off. This wasn't with another service, and we did a small pilot from our highest trafficked local web pages, and what performance list of practices that could stand to be better, right? And cross that with how high their web traffic was and came up with a small group to try say, hey, well, we've got nothing to lose. We need to try something new. Let's stick this on these practices. And it was a step up from this other service that we had. And it was a it still wasn't an LLM, or it wasn't conversational reasoning or anything like that. It was more of a an enhanced FAQ, if you will. Like, we still had to program it, the information. We still had to do all those things that take time, and it wasn't a shared brain, but it was able to converse conversationally instead of please and getting in that rut of give me your phone number to talk to you better, or those decision tree uh, questions. So we went from there and we saw some good success, right? We people on our website, the only thing at that moment that you can do is to visit our website to learn. And we have a lot of information on there. So we have a lot of traffic. Go to the website, and when you're on the website, if you're the customer and you're looking, or the patient and you're looking around, if you have a question, the only thing you can do is click the button to book an appointment or click the button to make a phone call. And for that experience, for a patient, those are two very, very high intent, high value actions, right? I'm just not going to call somebody. Like, I was just looking online, like, I'm not ready to make a phone call, and I dang sure ain't ready to make an appointment. I still don't even know if I'm convinced that this is not going to be a scary situation for me, or if this is right for me. I'm still investigating, right? I'm still in this learning stage. So the amount of visitors versus the amount of appointments, or those two appointment actions that were made, were kind of low. So we introduced that bot, and on those websites, we were able to capture more leads, right? Capture those shoppers, and we had a ticket, like, we were able to ingest that into our systems and measure that if a person was to finally get an appointment or get treatment and had interacted with our AI chat tool, that I think it was almost 10, sorry, like 25% higher ticket on that patient had they interacted with a chatbot.
Mm.
So my thought process is going, so why? Why is it higher ticket? I don't think anybody's spending more money, but I think that the people that need the higher value services need more information. They're asking questions, they're interacting, they're engaged. So we definitely had noticed that people click the button. But
Mhm.
again, still same brain, not the same brain. One to one val. I am the knowledge. That is not a good place for me to be. I don't ever like to be in the middle of correct information for all the practices. So that's when we were starting to talk to Manny about let's figure something else out. The only other place that we haven't tried this on is our brand site. It's the most highly trafficked page on our website is our brand homepage and our non-location based pages. And because of the systems that he had already built with Observe, and then it already had the brain built for the voice AI agent. It was already built within our workflows. It already got updated. It already had all those things that we were able to I said I like hijacked. I felt like I hijacked off of his. So it's not like I built it from scratch, which is perfect. Like, you don't need to build something brand new. We took his agent, the knowledge, and we transformed it into web chat agent. It
Mhm.
needs to talk differently than the agent does on the voice. Like, it's just a different experience. The patients are communicating differently. We again have a lot of customer service coming through our
Mhm.
website channels. We have to figure out ways around that, but the brain and the knowledge that is all consistent no matter what you do to it. So that is how we're at today. We're seeing some really great results with the product on our website. Um, we're adding new things. I just got an email this morning. We're adding enhancements every day to try and make the experience a lot better for our patients. Again, goal is to get them connected with care as quickly as possible or as quickly as they want. My goal is that we have all the information we need on our website. If I don't want them to shop. Obviously, I don't want them to shop because I don't want them to go to a competitor, but I want them to get the full experience right there on our page. I want the chat will help them book an appointment. It will, if they're customer service, they will transfer them to a customer service queue. Like it's all the things. So that's been working out really nicely. And my favorite part, if you haven't guessed, is that it shares the same brain that I don't have to maintain. I mean, when you're top, like one of the top things that people ask in there, we have a bunch of website pages, right? It's everything, a lot of the, most everything that the AI knows is on the website. It's just, it's not that consumers are lazy, but in the age of AI, they don't need to go dig.
Hmm.
So they stop and they're going to ask is, do you take this insurance? Oh,
Hmm.
like asking what insurance plans we take. Straight off the bat, one of the most highly sought after questions that they have. And our website has them all listed. Like every practice, every page tells everything, but it's just that's what they want to know. So instead of going to click buttons and search, like the old search experience, like you go to a website and you're clicking the menu and you're looking down the list and you're doing here, let me go find the contact, click the hours, do those things. We're not only do we need AI to do our business and serve our customers, but as a consumer, we use it all the time and we expect it.
Yeah. I think the best part about your journey is, we all know consumers digest information and want answers in so many different ways, which is why omni-channel is so big. But the most interesting thing about your journey is like, even on the website, they want to interact differently. There could be folks who want to go page by page and understand that, or folks who just want the answer. And if you are on the website, how do you just get the answer? And we all think, oh, it's the phone call, just give us a call. But to your point, that is a very big step. And so to put this AI driven chatbot that's conversational to be like their concierge, if you will, it's all about the options.
Hmm.
And so I love your evolution of the options and looking at the data and understanding, wow, that option like really made a big difference. I think that is just so powerful. So I appreciate you spending so much time and giving so much detail there. My last question before I pass it back to Sneha is, as you kind of went through this evolution of AI and tested it on these different channels, how did you evaluate the success of it? What were the metrics and how did you prioritize one metric over another?
We were really looking at lead volume and conversion rates, like ticket, average ticket, appointment, booking rates, appointment shows, and we're able to tell that through, when we're in the test, those specific practices. There's obviously some overall lift that comes through, and not everybody identifies themselves as where you can officially track it back, but it is to that converge that lead volume or that show rate, which are appointment schedule. So we always look at, leads, appointments, shows, new starts, right? New conversions of patients. So those are the key metrics across the board that we're focused on. But and the AI tool would really help bring in leads that maybe not be we're able to identify. It would help convert a lot of our high traffic, which are organic, right? Organic is the most direct organic traffic to your website is the most is the highest volume, right? So help convert those organic ticket in those organic patients into conversions into patient start. So those are the those are the gamut. But again, we were looking at that volume and that ticket.
Hmm.
And it wasn't that every channel, like even paid search or what, every channel, when we track back to metrics, is getting its own credit for the lead, but we're able to track the assist.
Hmm.
Like, did we assist this patient? Did on our brand site, how much of that traffic took an action? So now we have like an engagement action of that chat conversation rather than did they spend 30 seconds on our page or did they click a phone call? We're able to track a little bit more conversion actions for relevance, right? And then the back end of everything that the AI can tell us about what our patients are asking, right? I don't know that you could that this is probably one of the I knew it would happen. It's just so profound when it finally does is I have this gigantic database with how people want to have their questions answered now. Now, SEO wise, I can go put that content out there for if everybody asks, if I had an influx of people asking for pink dentures, now I'm like, hey, product team, we need to go get some pink dentures. We we need pink teeth. And we need to put this out here and we need to talk about it. But we can see so many things to help us serve the communities better.
I love that. Data is dangerous. It makes you,
Yes.
it gives you, it gives you power. And I don't know how to explain, but um, you're always walking into meetings knowing that, hey, I got receipts, right? So
Yes. Absolutely.
Let me tell you about what
Yes.
I have today.
I know. Or even, hey, when we're evaluating whatever tech we're doing for our website, and I'm able to say, hey, like 30% of the people that are going to be visiting this site are current customers looking for help. Like that is they're asking questions and they're not new patients. Like it's not just new people coming to our website, it's existing patients. So we're very focused on that new patient experience. Obviously, I'm in demand gen. I care about a constant flow of new patients, but we're in a world where everybody, including existing patients, have interactions and how they're trying to seek service and help.
yeah. I think one interesting point you mentioned was, it's now given you the ability to track assists. And from our previous conversation, you also mentioned something around, how you've made handoffs, right? Your most important, almost think of it like, your hill to die on kind of a priority. And if you see most AI implementations, they are sold on, okay, what's my deflection rate? What's my containment rate? What's, how much are you reducing the cost per conversation? How much are you reducing my handle time? All of that. But then handoff, not a lot of, AI implementations focus on that. So I would love to, understand your perspective on why handoff is a priority. What's your thinking philosophy behind that?
For us, the handoff is key. I think there are a percentage of our prospective patients, and we can only book online appointments for new patients. So there's only a subset of visitors to the website or whatnot that are going to be interacting with our AI tools that are new. And of those, it's a very like a lot of the people that come to see us have avoided the dentist for years, forever. They're freaked out. They're people they don't like the dent. I mean, people don't like the dentist most of the time. A lot of people have severe fear of the dentist. Ironically, one of those is me, and I work for the dentist. Um, but there's all these things when you come to our specialty, like we do tooth replacement. So, but when a patient needs us, they have this negative relationship with dental care usually, or a significant event that has brought them to need this dental care. So there's a lot of mental hurdles to overcome to even get to us to find that care. And then a lot of it has to do, a lot of the barriers are about cost and things that we just can't give prices on, not because we don't want to, but because a person, a lot of things require the examination of the doctor. Like you don't, I don't even know what I might need if I needed dental. If you don't know the state of your gums or the bones, or you need a consultation at X-ray. Like we can't, even over the phone, we can quote you starting prices and potentially explain a little bit more, but we've got to get you in for a consult. And that patient needs a human interaction, right? We're not trying to replace the human interaction at all costs. We're going to, get the people like me who would book an appointment online and then show up and just, I'm fine, never talking to a human again. Let's go and do it. But there is a very overwhelming majority of patients for us that do need, we have, and I would see the same thing like for other industries, right? If you have a higher ticket, kind of a sell, even a B2B, or you were, whatever the higher echelon you get up for whatever your value is that for your product to your patient, they want to talk or they want to see you, they want to meet you. Like there's things that have to happen. So the hill I always will die on is I will take 50 hurdles making my life horrible, but I will die on it. Needs to transfer to a live agent, and the AI has got to recognize when it can't help them. I
Mhm.
don't ever, one of the things I want to avoid is my chatbot scenario where the patient is trying to talk to the AI and the AI is just in a circle. I always say, right, the best AI know can recognize when it needs the human. And it's at that point where we're going to find that symbiotic relationship, right? Where the AI can help us move fast. It can help get the people that want to move in this direction quickly. It can help us route things, but it should never try to replace the people because they're like care is personal and you do need to talk to somebody before you buy it. You do need to make that connection a lot of times.
Yeah, and I think the most interesting part about your story is when we talk about, AI agents, when we talk about all these implementations, deployments, people are usually looking at this from the lens of, oh, I'm going to replace headcount, right? In your case, it's not, hey, I want to replace headcount. It's more, you're flipping the narrative more in the sense of, I want my current agents to do more with less, right? So you want to scale without adding headcount. And I think that's kind of the beauty of the whole thing.
Yes, and the head count is, I mean, people see one side of it and it's like, oh, they don't want to hire people. They don't want to do this, or companies, oh, Walmart doesn't want to hire cash register folks. That's why they make you check out themselves. We want to hire people. The human resource is not indefinite, right? It's not unlimited. So we've got to figure it out. I mean, when you think about employees, they have more choices now. Like it's tough. It's tough out there to hire these days and to get the customer service where you need to. And I'll tell you, an AI agent, it'll train when you train it, it remembers it. It doesn't get sick. It operates. So on the other side of this coin is our consumer demand for it's 7 o'clock on a Saturday night. I want my questions answered.
Right.
So where are we? Like, we staffing 24 hours a day for for folks? It's just like America's, right? We want to pay the least amount for something, and we want to make the most money per hour. And we want everything made in the USA, but we don't want to pay for it. Like all this situation. So the AI is going to help so much, and as consumers grow with how we use it and how we act, we use it on the daily, whether it's our Alexa or it's um, using our AI tools and our chat GPTs or whatever's on our phone to answer our questions, to how our businesses are using it to help the people like us get through their transactions or to help connect them with care. I think it's one of the most fascinating things out there.
Yeah. It's like the age-old joke, right? Of like whenever you need assistance or, like your phone, right? Like whenever I need help with my phone, it of course like doesn't do it when I'm at the Apple store.
Yes.
Right? Or whenever like I could access my plumber, my leak will happen at 5:01 when it's closed. It's
Yes.
just like that age-old riff of like exactly when I need it, it's not available. And so to have this 24-hour access for brands to help everybody because no one's going to dictate when you need that one thing.
Yeah, and as consumers, as people who live here and live in this day and age, we demand things fast and immediate um and it's an opportunity, not it's an opportunity for us to get them there. And 90% of the time, you can get them 90% of the way there and then get a call back later. Or
Or
I
just
think
know
that,
you're going to get a call back, right? Like
yes.
I'll add you to the top of the queue first thing Monday morning. Like it's something about validation that it's really all we're looking for. I don't think we're looking for perfection as consumers, but some form of validation, and maybe some form of like I can speak to them, and then I know I'll have a follow-up conversation. Like I would sleep soundly knowing that.
Yeah. Or I'm sitting at a soccer game, watching a soccer game, and I'm trying to check. I'm doing search, I'm paying multitasking. I don't want to get on the phone right then.
Yeah.
I need to do something, and I need to get it quickly. And I just think that
Hmm.
having all the options available and making, if you come at it with the perspective of less friction between your potential customer and your desired state for them, that's just where they need to be. Like, I want you to be happy and going eating steak dinners, and that's what I want. So let me get you there and keep that in your mind.
Yes. And I know we're getting close to time. I'm going to ask one question just
All
about the
right.
brand because you spoke about that, and then we'll go to our close-up.
Yeah.
You spoke a lot about like 30% um, of the activity on your website is actually customers just trying to get answers. And that's a pretty large amount. So when you think about how you're kind of shifting interaction between potential clients to clients, like how do you just ensure that your chat AI is staying consistent with your brand?
I that is one thing where we can tweak it with, so the voice AI agent needs to, that's the main brain, right? That's the brain for everything. But what's kind of cool is our ability to train our chat agent in our brand voice. So we can instruct it, and anybody who's built any kind of a bot. Like, it's what's really cool about this is I tell everybody all the time, oh, it is observe. Yes, observes AI agent. I can click a button and I'm in there. I can touch anything I need to. I have the keys to turn it off if I want to, which I never have. But I can change and I can update the voice. So right at the beginning, when we're trying to figure out what that looks like, you I've used it in other AI tools before, so I kind of had a starting point for how our brand was talking. But as we're kind of going under a brand update, so I'll need to refeed it our brand voice.
Yeah.
So being able to tell it how we want to treat our customers, how we want to speak to them. We're always helpful. We are understanding. We're not trying to correct them with how they're feeling. Those types of things. I think it's, if you think about your brand new employee that knows nothing on day one and you're in charge of answering the phone. It's like everything you would tell them on, this is the first time ever answering the phone for you. How do you want people to feel when customers chat with us? I want them to feel like we are their partner, that we're here to support them. You can really craft that, and it's way more consistent than it is on a human being. Like, they don't have bad days, and they're not gonna be ill and change your brand voice. So I think it's essential to be able it's like a secret weapon, I think, not only just in this agent, but in any type of AI situation to have something to be able to so perfectly represent your brand the way you want to without that human, uh, without our spin. We always put our own spin on things, and our days impact how we are acting. So we might not give the 150% customer experience we're aimed to, but I think that that's key. And being able to have that, being able to access it, me as the marketer, is essential, not having to go call 13 people to do different things and wait 7 to 10 business days for something to be updated.
Yeah.
Because if I notice something that's wrong, I want it fixed yesterday.
Yes, the level of control. That's perfect. Okay, and the last thing, just to kind of help, wrap things up and give everybody something tangible. It's so unique that contact center was under the CMO. And I know that was for a short time, but I just keep going back to it because you had this really unique partnership built in to how you were operating. And so if you were to go to a whole new organization, what would be the one thing that you would bring from that unique situation to help bring the contact center or customer service rather as a whole and marketing together?
It would probably be the first to do on my list is to build that relationship between those two departments. And it's a lot easier said than done a lot of times.
Mhm.
And it might require a few iterations, within the organization, depending on how things are or are not, politically. But if you can find I would look for an ally. Like, get yourself an ally on the other side. And I always come to it from an act of service. Nothing I do as a marketer is going to mean anything if somebody doesn't convert it. So that's what it means for me. A lot of marketers only care about that lead coming in. A lot of like that number, check mark your box, move on. I did it. I'm personally invested. Like I'm like, you didn't follow up on 1,000 leads. Like I just wasted so much money on that and so much time. Like I'm so personally invested. Like be invested in the final outcome.
Yeah.
And if you come at it that way rather than and I've been part of organizations with it in the opposite way where it's you have to help me. Like you've got to bond over the common patient experience, right? You've got to bond over have that same end goal and work from there. But always find an ally, figure out. I always am a just in, throughout my career, am a bridge builder between teams. We all go further together.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. And I think if we translate that in terms of find the ally, it's, maybe just having an honest conversation of just walk me through the customer journey, if you will, right? Like, here's what I own from the customer journey. What do you own from the customer journey? And just start there because I think from there it can evolve so well and you can understand what their pain points are. And I think you just maybe start to realize where things start to intertwine. Sometimes it's really as simple as, I don't know. I don't know what Sneha does every day, But if you come in curious, and that common denominator of the consumer, maybe that's the right way to just see where the conversation can go.
Absolutely, and especially if you're at a place where it has never done this before, I would challenge you to go and figure out are you missing a partnership that could we always had a good kind of a feedback loop where and don't get me wrong, I've had a lot of conversations that started like, hey, I just saw this conversation that said X, Y, and Z happened at this when they called in. Why is that? And we're trying to figure out, I'm like, oh, well, in my advertising, I say A, B, and C, and they're getting D, E, and F when they call. So let's be on the same page. Like there's a lot of if you dig deep enough when you're like if into your daily, like you know who touches the things that you generate, right? So being naturally curious in every instance and trying to figure out I can't when problems don't resolve themselves and thinking about them all the time. So just continue the curiosity and just try,
Yeah.
not only strive to have business move forward, but that your end result is achieved, especially in healthcare.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, Valerie, thank you for letting us pick your brain for almost an hour here. This was such a great conversation, just hearing how you've closed those gaps and created those bridges across the organization and seen so much success. It's just been truly wonderful. So I hope everybody on the call feels that way as well and has at least one. I've got like five, but I hope somebody is walking away with at least one nugget. So thank
Thanks for
you.
having me.
Yeah, thank you so much. And for everybody who's on the phone, thank you so much for joining us. As those of you who have been following us, this is monthly. So our next one is on December 18th, and we will be joined with a true guru contact center leader, Brian Trumbull. So can't wait for that. Sneha and I will come back with even more exciting updates and a great conversation with Brian. So thank you so much, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank
Thanks
you.
so much.
Bye.